So I'm going to record a few visions that I had yesterday, Thursday, October 25th. Was having dinner over at Brother Brad and Brother Soon's house, and we were finishing up dinner and having a time of conversation and fellowship and prayer, and worship and praise. And I had early on, or at some point toward the beginning of the meeting, Brother Emmanuel asked me or said to me that I would see a vision. And the vision that I saw was a bit different than what I normally see. The imagery was different, and the way I saw it felt different as well. So I was pretty unsure about it at first. But it was in three parts. The first part, I had like a wheat stalk, like a golden wheat, piece of wheat, but I was holding it in my hand, and my impression was that it was to be used as a quill, like you'd use a feathered quill to dip in ink and write, but this being a wheat stalk to write with. And then I remember turning and looking up into the heavens, into the sky, but it changed into the second part, and the second part was the sky I looked up into was a starry night sky. It was it was nighttime, and lots of stars in the sky, and then the stars, they fell. They came down the sky, almost like in streaks, like you would see if you were moving very quickly through the stars, or like if you saw a time lapse of the stars with like a trail. The stars kind of rained down, but it did not seem up close. It seemed distant or something of that nature, and they were very bright. It was a big brightness to the stars falling, and it was like the whole place, the night almost turned bright. And then the last portion suddenly changed the scene, and I was looking at a large eye, like an eyeball or an eye, really, really big, maybe the size of a car, and it seemed like an evil being, an evil thing, an evil purpose associated with it. But it was very short. This eye I only saw for a moment, and then either myself or someone, it was like in the vision, either myself or someone that I was representing quickly stepped forward and with a sword cut the eye diagonally across in half. So very quickly destroying this thing, this eye. So that was the first kind of vision that I saw. Then later I saw two separate visions for Brad. The first one I saw was, or actually I'm not sure which one came first and which one came second, but I saw at one point Brad in a kayak kayaking down a river, a mighty river, and my impression was it was the river of God. But then he changed from just paddling the kayak to actually going into the river and like becoming the water, becoming the river. So more than simply just riding along with the river on top of the river, but actually becoming one with the water and the river. The other vision I saw for Brad, I believe, while Soon was speaking and talking about breakthrough, Soon made two fists with his hands and held them close to his chest, and I saw Brad in the same position in this vision with his fists close together, close to his chest. But then I saw him, it was like he was in that position in a crouch, and in that crouch he suddenly stepped straight up and shot both fists into the air straight up, and he had been crouching beneath an igloo, a dwelling place that Eskimos build up in, I think, Alaska and other places, made it of ice. This is ice dome to protect them and keep them warm, and he was crouching in this one that was very low to the ground, and the ice was, he couldn't stand up straight, so he was crouching down with his hands by his chest, and then he shot upward, and it fully kind of extended his body to break through and burst the top off of this ice igloo made of ice. And then I also mentioned a vision that I had seen the previous night. I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and share it. I think it might soon mention that it might be kind of a personal vision, but the Lord showed me this golden, I say box because it was clearly a container, but it wasn't square, it was round. This round sphere, and it was like I was holding it, or I could see it before me, and it was made of some kind of gold material, and it was made of interlocking pieces. And the interlocking golden pieces of this sphere sometimes would shift or move around. It was almost like you had to shift these pieces to unlock something. But as these pieces moved, or as I turned it, I could see an immense amount of light within this sphere, light that was would shoot out just between the cracks, and clearly was meant to burst forward from this orb, from this ball, from this sphere. And but I was also, it seemed very much like the Lord was showing me something, or giving me like an expectation of something great and wonderful to be unlocked. This power, this energy, this whatever it is, and it was very sudden. This vision that I saw was kind of thrust upon me out of nowhere. I think I was just walking through the house, like going from one room to the other, when I saw this very clearly. Again, the previous night, the 24th. So I believe those are all the visions that we're seeing, Brother Soon. If you remember one that I missed, mention it to me, and I'll see if I recall. But I believe that was all of them. So, okay, bless the Lord.